My second low is probably gonna be, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna just put the elephant in the room. But I'm gonna say probably like the finances is like, you know what I mean, like the merging of finances, the figuring out the finances, the who is paying this, who's paying that. It's like it's not that it's like a low, but it's just like sometimes like, especially like, okay, well, I put it like, wow. I've been in a box in my life where I done had a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? I've been in times where I've been able to afford some things that, you know what I mean, that I can't, that the average person can't afford.
Yeah.
But I've also been dead broke. You feel me? I have been broke to the point where I was putting together money to eat a McChicken, you know?
Yeah. They just watch, it's the red face. No, this ain't stock, we can start a race. 150 on my dash before I hit the brake. Pull up flexing with a Lexus, I be working late. I'm invested in my weapons, I got 2 estates. Got a business just to own and it's going.
Yo, welcome back, man. Or I can't even say welcome back, but welcome to, you know what I mean, the brand new Virgil's podcast, you know what I mean? So we want to just welcome y'all, man, to a special little thing that we got going here. This is going to be the new look, you know what I mean? We're doing a little bit of rebranding, making it a little bit more snazzy, making it a little bit more up to date, a little bit more us, I would say, you know what I mean? So we had this Shift podcast, and the Shift podcast was started. It was primarily the wonderful Kiara's idea, and that idea was actually started, I guess, with her and a friend. I guess you could kind of maybe explain.
Yeah, so basically the Shift... the Shift was created by me and a friend, and, the friend wasn't able to continue or commit to the podcast. However, my wonderful fiance here was like, you know what, you want to do it, so we'll do it together. And throughout the time that we did do the Shift, it just didn't really feel like us. And I'm not saying that there's no shift happening, because the shift happens in all of our lives and we all can relate to it. However, in order for us to be able to really communicate and really give it our all, it has to feel like you. It has to feel like us, and us is the Virgils.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm really excited about this journey that we're about to embark on with all of you guys. So I hope that you guys continue to follow us as we really officially become the Virgils.
Yes.
Little update, we'll be getting married this year. I'm so excited.
Yes. But of course, before we get into the updates, so with that being said, with the rebrand,
sorry, I was just hype, y'all.
Yeah, so with the rebrand, so the Shift was be dedicated more so like towards like, self-improvement and things like that, and kind of like development and evolution, which is kind of like the brand no plug right now. But
go ahead and just
we're gonna drop the link though, of course.
Right there,
it's right there, you know what I mean? And
go ahead and get your merch. So why don't we just pop in with some merch right there?
But they already know that though.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to broadcast it anyways, babe, because they have to know, because we may have some new viewers and they may not know all that we do.
This is true.
All right.
So make sure you go get your merchandise. The Turner Evolution. You know what I mean? It's definitely the go way. You know what I mean? Saying so, but the Shift was focused more towards that, where it was going to be more topic based, but we're going to make it the Virgils, where it's a little bit more us, where we can have a little more leniency. We want to talk about some of the stuff that's trendy, or some of the stuff that we see, or you know what I mean, some of the stuff that happens as well. So and we'll still do some of the favorite segments that we have, like what's the tea, like what you got in your cup, you know what I mean, and we can start with that too. We'll still keep that around. So I'll start with me, because I know she's gonna like to see. But right now, I'm drinking cognac. You know what I mean. This is just in my cup. This just happens to be some Cavassier VSOP right now, and it's just straight on ice. Straight on ice. You know what I mean? That's what I got in my tea. You know what I mean? I get my little topics later. You know what I mean? What you drinking on there?
My drink is really plain and simple. It's a sweet red. It's called Vino. I thank my mom for putting me onto it. It's very smooth, very nice. It's just about.
Is it smooth and nice too, or ice too?
I mean, you gotta be a different type of person to just sit there and drink Cavassier on ice. But babe, that's your thing. That's your lane. However, I will not be making a detour over there at all.
Hey man, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You know
Not
what I
at all.
mean? We keep it more in the house for me, you know what I mean? At least when I know when I buy a bottle, you know, I know to stay for a while, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So yes. But you know, speaking of you know, what's the tea, you can still give the update, you know what I mean? Like you said, an update, you know, relationship update. You know, hello.
All right, so a little bit about just what's been going on with Virgil and I. Like I said earlier, we're getting married at the end of this year, November 2023. So I'm so excited.
It's lit. It's probably gonna be the most live event since the Olympics. You know what I mean?
I swear he's been saying that, like, to everybody that he talks to about the wedding.
It's going to be. Don't worry, we're gonna have a whole video. We got video photographers that we already gonna pay for. We're gonna have a little summary that we're gonna probably have to post on YouTube to make y'all know. You know, we're probably gonna have endless videos out by then anyway. You know what I mean? So,
you know,
as y'all follow the journey,
it's very intimate. It's very us. Like, it's very just. I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to see, but I don't want to give too many details because none of that. But another detail, I guess, about us, we've been living together now. It's been like a full year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's been a full year.
Definitely been over a calendar year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I think we moved in like January.
Yeah, we moved in actually January of 2022. So it was actually like New Year's. Not the day, I think it was the week of New Year's.
Yeah, I think so.
And so we kind of wanted it to be that way. We wanted it to start the year on a new wave. And so it was 2022. So now we're 23.
Yeah.
Over a year in the new crib. So
So you know, we're definitely like settled in. I love it here. It was kind of difficult at first, I would say, like getting adjusted to the new location, the new area. A lot of people who know me know I'm from Maryland, so now I've made that trip across the bridge. So it's you know, it's been a little different for me. But I feel like I adjusted. Like, I like it out here. Am I saying I'm gonna stay here forever?
I mean, well, forever is a long time, so you know, definitely don't plan on staying here forever. Of course, you know. And you know, we got goals and ambitions, so that definitely means that traveling will be in the works as well. So I don't foresee us staying here forever. But you know what I mean? It's cool for right now. We are grateful. You know what
it's
I mean?
really comfortable.
Blessed and highly favored. You know what I'm saying? To be in
it's
a
comfortable.
Nice place.
Like I like it. Like, I like it a lot. Like of course I love being here with Virg, but I do like the area. It's growing on me. I even joined a new gym.
Right. Yeah,
Recently,
we definitely we back on the gym tip heavy, man. So that's another reason too, where you know, I mean, with trying to, you know, with the podcast, I think when we first started it, you know, like I said, she said it didn't really feel too right, and then also with the life changes of moving into the place and trying to get acclimated with, you know, like our job and living in a new crib, and you know, then she'll start shoot the podcast. You got family, and then you got the holiday season.
I mean, it was just like a lot. Like I always say. Over the course of the year, like, we were getting adjusted to living together. So like anybody who is in a relationship that live with their significant other, you can probably relate the most to what we're saying here, which is like, it is not easy.
I mean, it's not easy. Yeah, it's definitely not easy. But it's lit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to take that leap of faith for those out here watching, you know what I'm saying? Definitely do it.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, you don't know somebody until you live with them.
Nah, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it definitely, you know, it has been a growing process.
Yeah, you definitely want to kind of like walk your way into the process because it could, you know, it could be a little strenuous.
Yeah, at times. And like, you know, nobody's perfect. So at the end of the day, I would say, like, through this process, this last year, I've learned not only a lot about Virg, but even a lot about myself. And, you know, it takes self-reflection as well. So, you know, your partner, just, you know, be open to what they have to say about you. You know, sometimes you don't always want to hear it. Yeah. And sometimes I don't always want to hear, you know, the hard things, I would say. But always just be open to it. And there's always room for growth. Yeah. Always.
Well, I know we still got the update because we got some more stuff to update y'all about. But first question of the podcast, I would say, just because I'm interested to know. I don't think I've asked you since we've, you know, since we're here and we're over here. Yeah, we'll probably go ahead and take you a sip. Since we're over a year in the crib, like I legitimately have not asked you this yet, and it just came to me live on the air. So what's been your? Well, we kind of have this thing too. So maybe we'll give a little bit of backstory on this thing. I don't know if for some of you that do know Kiara here, her gorgeous self for all that she does. She's a teacher. So you know. And we all know that teachers are underprivileged and underpaid, but that's a topic for another day. But she has this thing that she used to. I doubt she does it now. She's got like some older kids now. You know what I mean? These new kids is different. But she used to do this thing called high and low.
Yeah, I used to do that with my kids all the time. And then when we began dating, when we would be on FaceTime or on the phone, like I would just be like, well, what was your high and low today? Like, what was one good thing that happened today? And like, what was something that maybe you wasn't really feeling too much? So,
So we're gonna maybe try to incorporate this into our podcast along with what's in the tea. You know what I mean? And what's your high and low? So. And it's pretty simple. The high is what was your best remark, or what was your best experience, you know what I mean, your best tribulation for the day, topic. And then, of course, the low is going to be the opposite. What is, the lowest moment that you had? What was something that caused you a little bit of turmoil or had some rigidity into? So I'll ask you, Miss Kiara, what has been your high and low of the first year of living together? Yes. Let's hear it, folks. What's been the best and worst moment from the total annual residency here with your husband-to-be? The people want to know. Yeah. What's been the best moment ever? And
like exact moment?
Well, let's say, we got a timeline, of course. So I guess, you could pick something.
I would say, so I'm not going to say like a specific memory, but more of just like something that we have gotten in the habit of doing. I would say a specific high is just like our really just like raw and all down talks. Like we just had one the other day randomly and I was like crying my eyes out.
Facts. I'm trying to tell you, boy, that couch over there.
Like just like talks. Those moments, like those really is just like deep and raw, like conversations, like where it's like, I mean, I've always been a friend, like, I'm not saying I have like trust issues, but like, I don't know, like I tell you like everything, like I feel like I tell you more than I've told any human that has ever existed on this earth.
Same.
So, just being able to like get that all out and then to just like hear like, your perspective and your point of view, but just like the talks. And I think I've said this even before when we had the shift, like what was my favorite thing about like being with you? It's just our conversation. Like it's just never really dull for real. Like,
definitely. I would say too. I mean, I think having a partner to confide in, you know what I mean, and to vent and to have someone that, also,
but if I was to say one thing specifically that I do love.
Oh, love. Oh, okay.
That I do love, like in addition to like us talking, but we always watch like all the Power series, all like BMF, everything. Like we always watch it together.
Hey, shout out 50 Cent, man.
Yes.
Shout out 50.
We watched everything, like anything. Yeah, like everything.
Yeah, we are super tapped in. We might. Hey,
super
man, let us know in the comments too, man. If y'all want to hear us talk about the Power universe, we might make an episode.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah, because we are super. We watch.
love it.
We watch a lot of them. I think Raising Cane's, or is BMF your favorite? Raising Cane's your favorite?
I don't know. Like BMF is definitely one of my. I don't know. I really.
It's not even a Power
love
universe.
It's not the stars, 50 Cent, right. All of that. But for me, I really love the 90s. Like I feel like if I could have lived anywhere else, it would have been the 90s.
Yeah.
So
shout out 90s baby.
Raising Kanan and BMF, just like I love the fashion, like I love the cars, like I love everything about it. So even like the lingo too.
Kanan's has my favorite characters. I think it has my favorite characters.
I love rock. Like I mean, we can't even get too much because we'll start talking about it for real. But my high is probably again like our all down like talks that we have, but then also like us just like binge watching shows together.
Right.
Because one thing that we do love, of course, is like the Power series, but we're also really into like cooking shows as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I have so many highs. Another high that I have, okay, I'm sorry.
Right,
This is the last one. This is the last one.
Highs are good, lows are bad.
My other high is just like when we cook together. Like I love when we cook together.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like making dinner and you're like, okay, like I'm gonna just hop in, like sous chef. Like I love it.
Yeah.
And I love like helping you cook too. So those are just some things that are like.
I would definitely
highs.
say that's a pretty cool thing.
Now my lows.
Lows, give them to me. What's the lows?
I would say just like I'm an only child. Like, all right, so just keep that in perspective. Like I'm an only child. So just like sharing space. You know, like I have a lot of stuff. I will admit, I have a lot of clothes. I have a lot of just a lot of stuff. So just like sharing a space is definitely, so like on TikTok they talked about the icks, so I'm gonna tell you how the icks. So
which we did, by the way.
We did do that. Yeah. So it would just be like sharing just like my space. But like I said, it's something that I'm growing to enjoy. But it was definitely hard at first because like I said, I'm an only child. Never really had to like share space. I always have my own room. I always have my own bathroom, you know. Mm-hmm. So just like, especially when I'm like doing my makeup and he's trying to get dressed in the bathroom too. Ugh, so gotta.
But we have 2 mirrors too, which is also like crazy.
Yeah, it is, yes, but like, it's just like,
whatever.
Anyways.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then,
whatever. I know you got another one.
Dishes.
The
dishes. I have like,
just how she said she was the only child, she did not come from a household that had a dishwasher.
Okay, no. We did have a dishwasher. So if don't do that to my mama. Don't do that to my mama and my daddy. Because we did have a dishwasher, but my parents did not allow me to use the dishwasher. So I always had to wash dishes. So my parents who are watching this, you guys will probably be very proud of me when you guys hear this because I mean, we did have a dishwasher, but I was not allowed to use the dishwasher. So all I was used to was just washing the dishes. So, and my mom has like this it too, and like she used to hate it, and like it's weird because now I hate it. Like I hate just like dishes in the sink. So like if I come home from work, there's a bunch of dishes in the sink, it's gonna irk me.
Well, in my defense, I don't typically leave dishes. Like, so if I eat something like real quick, I have a snack, I heat it up. You know what I mean? I may put it back in the sink and may leave it there. And it may be there for like an hour or so before I rinse it off and put it in the dishwasher, whatever the case is. Sometimes I'm just like on the go, or I'm just like sitting or I'm playing, or you know what I mean? So it's not intentional, nor is it there for a long time. Let's not put it there, so we're not dirty.
And then, I mean, I think that's it for really eggs. Like, I mean, for the most part, like, it's pretty easy going. Like, it's cool. Like, but one thing that I will say, like, and it's not really so much of a, I'm not going to say it's like a high or low, but it's like a growing moment. But like when you're living with your significant other and you guys are evolving to eventually become one, like just like what that looks like and like actually like merging your lives together.
The processes.
When you're thinking of just like your finances, you're thinking about your just lives, like, you know what I mean? Emotionally, physically, like your schedules, all of that, just like merge it, like making this look like one thing. Like we're developing our family together. It's not easy. So it's just like, I wouldn't say that it's like a low, and I wouldn't say it's a high because there's a whole lot of tears, you know what I mean? And maybe some disagreements, you know, agreements to disagreements that come with that. But I do love it because I always love to see the growth, and I just love to see like just like, you know what I mean? Like us like overcoming like different humps. Because, absolutely. You know, we are young. I'm 25 and you are
30. I feel like I'm fucking 30.
He is not 30. And like my grandmother always said, like you're only as old as what you feel, or something like that.
Well, I feel
but you, like, if you say that you're old, then you're old. Me, I'm 25, I'm young, I'm feeling good, living better.
I feel like, you know what I mean? So, all right, well, you know, technically I'm 28, but, you know, that 30 is like right around the corner, and, you know, you start to feel that shit, man. Like, I've been in the gym, as we mentioned a little bit earlier lately, man, and, you know, the gym, like, I used to be, so, let me get to backstory, man. I am actually a Division I athlete, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, give him a clap, y'all. Let's cue the clapping.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna add it in here too because we deserve it.
Do you want athlete? Like, come on.
Yeah, so I did actually go to have the university and try to be a collegiate athlete, and so through that process, man, I was really set my body through rigorous things over the course of the years, and so I feel confident in going into the gym and being able to do the things that I've been able to do, but through old age and dieting, well, not old age, but getting older.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like not old age, but just through getting older and just, not having the same sort of diet and same sort of workout regimen, my body, like, it gets sore a lot easier
than it did, right?
than it did before, you know what I mean? So sometimes, man, I've been thinking, I'm like, man, yeah, I am, but, creeping on 30, I'm not 21.
No,
like,
you're not.
you know what I mean? Which was.
But it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's still okay, but that's why I'm trying to, get back right, man, trying to maybe get in an adult league, man, because by the time I still have kids, I still want to be able to dunk and play basketball to
as you should, baby.
To the best of my ability, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still one of the best artists.
I have a question for you.
Okay, what's up? What's up with the question? Is it my high and low time?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, you see, I was already there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what should I start? Should I start with highs or lows?
I think that we should always start on a good part.
So
this is what
you started
should...
with highs though. So should I do the opposite?
No, I feel like you should
say the best for last.
I feel like you know what. Whatever your heart desires, baby.
All right, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna say the best for last. We're gonna do the lows first.
Oh, well, I think that you should give like a growth too, like, cause that's what I did. Like, I threw that in there.
Okay, all right, yeah, I'll do a growth. Okay, so lows though, lows. All right, so I did this on the X on TikTok, but I'm gonna just go ahead and reiterate because, and I'm gonna also give some more context as well. So go ahead and check back on our TikTok. What I mean, we're gonna post a link for the TikTok in the description as well. It's because we mentioned it twice. But so first off, one of my biggest lows that continues to happen, and I even, like I said, mentioned on TikTok, which was months ago, it still occurs to this day. When you come home from work, you take off your clothes, you throw them wherever they are. They stay there for hours at a time. Y'all.
I don't leave them there.
Y'all.
I do not leave them there for hours.
Please help me to help her. Maybe I could put like a hamper in the living room or something.
No, what?
Or
I don't. What? Okay, now you're
Kiara, you're telling me you don't come home and take off your clothes
in this living room. In this living room.
If it is in the living room, it's in the living room. It might not be on the floor, but it's gonna be on the couch. It has been times we've been on the couch. Has it not been times we've been on the couch?
I'm done.
Has it not been times where you got home and had it home? So yes, that is one of my lows. She comes home and she takes off her clothes. She throws them in the middle of the bedroom, the living room.
Yes, let's be specific.
Whichever room she's in is the specificity.
But okay. I would never go to bed without picking them up though.
Okay, go to bed, but hours.
Like, but if I come home, like,
but you get home at 3 o'clock.
No, I don't. Not every single day. So
that's what, 7 hours.
On Monday and Thursday, I meet with the trainer. Tuesday and Wednesday, I have my other job.
5 o'clock. So if not, so at best,
Friday
5
is
hours.
the only day that I come home directly after work.
Okay, so at best 5 hours.
Sure.
Okay, regardless.
Next.
She comes home and leaves her clothes on the floor. That's one of my lows.
All right. Next.
My second low is probably gonna be, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna just put the elephant in the room. But I'm gonna say probably like the finances is like, you know what I mean, like the merging of finances, the figuring out the finances, the who is paying this, who's paying that. It's like it's not that it's like a low, but it's just like sometimes like, especially like I put it like, wow. I've been in a box in my life where I done had a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? I've been in times where I've been able to afford some things that, you know what I mean, that I can't, that the average person can't afford.
Yeah.
But I've also been dead broke. You feel me? I have been broke to the point where I was putting together money to eat a McChicken, you know what I'm saying? So, at the same time where you can wear a Rolex watch, I'm also understanding where it has been to not have $1. And so, the overall perspective of just trying to, hey man, we can only afford this, but we want this, and trying to commingle the finances and say, well, hey, well, we got to do this and do that, and we still got to try to save and pay for things. I think it's just a conversation that becomes, draining. I think, anybody can relate to adulting being difficult and, not desirable, what I mean, at all the times, like, what I mean? I saw this meme the other day where it was like the bill's always saying, your bill is due, but they're never talking about the bill is on us. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like it's always something that you got to pay for, always something that comes up. You know what I mean? So, and it is twice that when you have a partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, something happens to her car, it's my car too. Even though I'm not paying for it, my name's not on the list, but you know what I mean? We still got to take care of each other.
Actually, we experienced that a few weeks ago, like during the Christmas holiday, where it was just like we were really like a family of like one car.
Yes.
And it was very,
it was draining. It was draining. Yes.
Because it was just like I couldn't do. Right. Luckily, I wasn't working at the time. Like I was on Christmas break, so that was helpful. But it was definitely difficult because there was things that I did need to do. But I would definitely agree with you, babe. Like not saying that it's a low. I wouldn't say that it's a low because I feel like that's annoying. It's a part of the process, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, especially like younger people who are in the same space that we are, who are trying to figure that and maneuver that out. But I just want to give you an accolade because like it's almost like I was thinking about saying it, but I didn't because I didn't know. And I just appreciate you for just like being so just like upfront and really just like being raw. I mean,
because I think that,
because me, I'm an overthinker. So like I was like, should I say it? Should I not? Like, but I appreciate you.
I think that, even what we're trying to accomplish, right, with the Virgil podcast, I mean, I think that, transparency. I think it can help somebody else. But also, too, like you said, you hit the nail right on the head when you're talking about the younger couples.
Yeah.
I think especially when more people are now are like not getting married, or even if they are, they're having kids before they get married, or whatever the case is. So you got a lot of different situations with millennials, which we are, in the space of marriage and parenthood. And I think that a lot of that bears on the financial success or lack thereof, for a lot of people. So I would definitely say that that's somewhat of a it's a speed bump. I wouldn't say that it's something that's gonna, derail you, but it can.
But I mean, if we're looking at statistics, there's two main components that in America that lead to divorce are infidelity and finances. So I mean, thank God it hasn't been like a super like tremendous like oh my gosh, like this is just the word, like it hasn't been like that for us, like thank God. However, like we are aware that, you know what I mean, like it's only gonna get, as you continue to matriculate through life together, like you just have to make sure that you're sticking to the fight, because it's like there's some days that you're gonna have to fight a little bit harder than others. So
the 50-50 thing is dead. You know what I mean? Like that, like definitely doesn't exist. I think.
I feel like, and we're not even just talking about like finances, but we're just talking about in general. Because you work, I work, but at the end of the day, there's some times where it may be like 90-10 or 100%. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I mean, it just depends on 70-30, so it just really just depends. But it's just important to, and like I said, being an only child, one thing that I feel like I have struggled with is just like having someone to actually being okay with like leaning on somebody else, because in life thus far, the only person that the only people rather that I was leaning on would be my parents, but never really like leaning on anyone else. Like, I mean, of course I have like amazing friends and things like that, but like having someone else outside of my parents that I like lean on and it's okay, that's something that I definitely like am still, not saying I'm struggling with, but it's still something that is like still being worked on. And
that's why I think it's important to try to unpack that shit, man.
Yeah,
before you get into a relationship, or try to find someone that can, assist you in doing that, because
and I just appreciate you and just like how patient you are with me.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man.
Thank you,
that's the key. Men out there, you know what I'm saying? Be patient.
Patient. But women too, because like, the dishes thing, like we're getting better at it. But it took some patience. Like I can't max every time.
We actually got a brand new Samsung dishwasher. You know what I mean? So,
yes, and I've been using it, Mom and Dad.
Yes, you know what I
I've
mean?
been using
Shout out
my
to the pods
dishwasher.
too. You know, you just put the pods in there and press it. But
Yes.
this touch screen too. Shout out, folks. Anyways, so we get to the highs. So I'll tell you some of my highs. So one of my highs, since living together, we done that.
I'm
So
like a little kid. Like
yeah. So one of the things that we try to always do, which I always appreciate, man, is that we always try to take a trip or something or do something it's like once a quarter or something like that.
Yeah, we try to do
You know
something.
what I mean? So 4 times a year, you know, once every 3 months, 90 days or so, that we try to really go out and do something like so I give y'all a little tidbit. I don't really like to tell a lot of people this, but you know what I mean? But we try to blow up on the podcast game, so maybe this tip will help people and they might fuck around and get sponsored. But Tesla, Hertz, holla at me. If you rent a Tesla from Hertz, then you know they actually will just pay for the charging with your rental. So a lot of times we'll just rent the car. That way you don't have to like pay for gas and do stuff like that. And so
and it's fun, to be honest. I mean, like if you have the time, because you also have to like if you've ever driven a Tesla. Like, you have to keep this in mind. Like, you do have to charge the car.
Right.
So, you have to have enough time to do that. And sometimes it can take 30 to 40 minutes to charge the
but
car.
if you're going local or if you want to take a nice little road trip, you know, which is what we kind of do. We enjoy those little road trips, those long drives in the car.
We just be rapping and bumping Key Glock. And we better, side note, we better go see him in a few weeks.
Yeah, you feel me? For sure. But you know, we just, we take some little trips. We rent a little Tesla, man. And so we don't have to pay for any gas and just drive, you know what I mean, and just get a hotel room and stay for a little bit and, you know, check out the scenery, a local eatery or bar that they have. We did that recently when we went to, where were we? I think we were in Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
And we drove to Charlotte and we were just standing in the hotel. We was like, yo, I think it's a bar over there. They're playing music. Went over there.
Oh, no. That's when we were in Richmond.
See? Yeah, so we were in Richmond and we found a bar and we was just like, it was right next to our room. We were just like, yo, we're going to go over there and see what's up.
And it was
they had a whole vibe over there. They had a DJ and dancing. It was outside, inside. They had like a little patio thing. It was like a little club out there for real. We had no idea. Nope. So, you know, I would highly enjoy taking those trips and being those spontaneous moments where we find stuff to do and, you know, so that's definitely probably one of my highs. Definitely gonna confirm the binging of the shows. We're not gonna go too much into the power and all that. We already, you know, but yeah, that's also one of my highs. And I think also lastly a high that you probably didn't mention is lately, man. You know, we've been you know, we kind of like, you know, we work out together a little bit.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? We work out a little bit together. You know, we try to incorporate that, you know what I mean, into our mix of things that we do together, you know what I mean? Because she's always been very serious about her fitness, which I love. She's always had some sort of stuff. When I first met you were doing like some kickboxing class. Now you're training with a trainer, and
gotta get ready for November.
Yeah. So she's always been about her fitness. So
try to be.
Me being that D1 athlete I told you about, like I kind of get neglectful. I'm like, man, I've been hooping all my life, bro. Like you know what I mean. Like I just want to sit down for a minute, you know what I mean. Especially after a long day, like I just want to sit on the couch and chill. But I've, you know, been getting back into the gym and hooping and doing all that stuff, man. So, you know, what with you there, man, that's been, you know, been cool too. So I would say those have been my highs, you know, and my lows. You know.
Well, I love you, baby.
Yeah, well, I love you too.
So I want to get into the topic for today. So it's been trending on Twitter and Instagram, even though I'm actually like on like an Instagram detox. However, through you, I'm able to get some of the trending topics through Instagram. But I want to talk a little bit about Krishan and Blueface.
Oh.
Because you want to know something, babe? We've never actually really talked about them. Now, we did watch a few episodes on Zeus. We watched like 2 episodes of their little
yes. We had
TV
Zeus
show.
for a little quick little minute.
Yeah, for like a quick minute we had it. So we were just kind of like tapping into all the, you know, the little shows on there.
We're caught up the episode Toxic Relationships.
Yeah, like.
Just off the strength.
Yeah, because we're talking about.
Going on defamation or nothing.
Okay.
But, but yeah.
I mean, we ain't the only ones.
Yeah, facts. So, but I mean, it's definitely been trending. And,
So, my question to you is, Okay, so you've already said you just flat out think that it's toxic.
Yeah.
But do you feel, just like based on like what you have seen in the media, do you feel like it's more of like Krishan that is the one that is being more toxic to the situation? Or do you feel like it's more Blueface? And if so, how is each person being, who's being the enabler here?
So you know me, I have a type of personality where I really tap into, like, if I enjoy something, I really kind of am all into it, kind of have tunnel vision towards it. So even if that's down to some of the things that even I watch, like if I watch it, if I go watch a movie, you know what I mean, in the theater, like I want to watch all the interviews and see the director talk about it and how the movie came together and what they did, and you know what I mean, like, kind of where the idea came from. So with that being said, for this particular thing, when it's trending on Twitter, I kind of look into it, and like I said, we watched the show on Zeus for a little bit. That kind of what made us watch the show is that we kept seeing it on Twitter and all that stuff. We were like, man, we gotta watch this, see what's going on. And so I will say that because I've dove into it a little bit, I can't really decide. I can't really confirm or deny whom it is. I think that both personalities are conflicting, and that's why you have consistent rigidity. You know what I mean? I think that anytime that you have two personalities who are strong-willed, dominant, narcissistic, you know what I mean, you're going to naturally have habits that form that are not going to be conducive to, you know what I mean, everyday life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, I can't really say, I really don't condone it because...
Yeah, not facts.
Because, you know what I mean? I personally don't really see how this shit gets there. Like, I've never really seen an example. Fortunately for me, I grew up in a household that had two parents, and, my parents have been married 30 some odd years now. Same with yourself. Where her parents have been
26 years.
Something years. Yeah. So fortunately, we've had great examples of what parenthood and what marriage looks like. So for me, it's like super egregious because it's like beyond me, for real. It's like I don't even really
I would
thoroughly
never
understand. I don't even really kind of understand.
So my question to you is so I guess you've kind of said you've never seen anything to that extent.
Right.
But have you ever been in a relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been in some toxic.
And what do you define as toxic?
All right, so toxic to me is that's a good question. Toxic to me is I feel like if you're in a toxic relationship, anytime that it's something that's where y'all really are beefing, or y'all gotta find out where each other is at any time of the day, y'all clocking each other, y'all trying to figure out what's going on, and y'all can't trust each other, but y'all still love each other type shit, but the trust is coming out of a sense of fear or a sense of gain. I have to make sure this person is still mine at the end of the day. I feel like anytime that you have those sort of facetious feelings, you know what I mean? That's just a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? So anytime you cooking up something like that, it ain't gonna be good. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be you know what I mean? It's no good. We don't.
So have you been in? And then my second question was if you've been in a toxic relationship.
Yeah. So
what was that like for you?
So I think I was in a toxic relationship. I think that my previous relationship was somewhat toxic, but I think it was because we had lack of understanding. You know what I mean? We had we couldn't get to a space where each person was heard equally, and I think that naturally took a downfall in a relationship. So
the catalyst was communication.
Definitely, I think that's the catalyst in most cases. You know what I mean? Is that people can be oftentimes maybe, for lack of better words, afraid to express themselves.
I mean, it's not easy to talk about your feelings, but especially if you
or just fragile.
Yeah, or if you grew up in a space where that was just not really a thing for you, or that wasn't a thing that was acceptable as well. So if you've never seen effective communication, or you've never seen that, or if it was okay, then of course you're gonna struggle with it. So I feel like, in a sense, like, do you feel like you could have had like more patience in that situation, or do you feel like you did and it just was like too much for you eventually?
That's a good question. I think patience. I think so, because I think what she I wasn't willing to give at the time, and I think I wanted to do things more my way. Well, not necessarily my way, but I think I had an idea of what the relationship looked like or what it could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had potential for it. Like, not in a malicious way, but I just wanted us to be like straight, wanted us to be successful, wanted us to be right. And I think that maybe that didn't align with what she wanted.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And I think
so you feel like you're
had a progression of
like what you saw your life to be, in addition to communication.
Right.
Kind of.
And I think maybe even that had not been communicated.
Created some turmoil.
Yeah.
Or what you wanted, or what you saw y'all's life to be, and what she saw. They weren't the same thing, but y'all never really even communicated with each other, like, with that.
Yeah, I think we had like actions, like we had like certain things, like, you know what I mean, like we had like of course I always had the brand, like I've had IE and you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I think there was things that you could see, but it wasn't never really expressed. Like there was no
like I want to take over the world.
Yeah, like I never sat down and told you like, yeah, I'm gonna take over the world. This is how you could be involved. You know what I mean? Like there was definitely like that definitely never happened. So so I think maybe that led to some of it as well. I think on top of you know, her own personal things as well. I don't think I was in it by myself, obviously.
No, respect.
Yeah, so I think, you know, her reactions to what I felt and what she felt and things like that. So I think, so you know, like I said, so, you know, we had just tidbits of things that, you know, when you started cooking up, it was just a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So how about yourself? Have you ever been in a toxic relationship? How did you deal with it? What was it like? You know what I mean? And what do you consider, well, first of all, what do you consider to be a toxic relationship?
I just feel like toxic is just something where a toxic relationship is, first, I would say something that's getting you out of character. So say, for example, and I've been in a relationship like that where it was constantly like I found myself like unhappy, constantly arguing, constantly going back and forth, dealing with infidelity, but it was just like, for me, it was just like, I guess I kept like, I mean, I guess I was just coming back, I guess, but like every single time I came back, like, sad to say, but something about me, like, if you do me wrong one time, I may not be, like, I'm probably, like, in that case, during that time in my life, I wasn't the same, like, I just was, you know, like, I was here, you know what I mean, like, it was just like, okay, like, I guess we can try this again, but, like, it never hit the same, you know, in my own experiences. However, I feel like toxic is just anything that's getting you to a place in which you are exerting a whole lot of anger. It's a lot of yelling, arguing. There's, again, like, just some type of, like, betrayal that's involved. So not saying that it's even just cheating or anything like that, because there's different forms of betrayal, like lying and things like that. So I would feel that that's kind of toxic, or just like, you know, even something that a lot of people, to me, I think is toxic, is just like a whole bunch of lying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a lot of different definitions of toxic.
A whole bunch of capping,
like a whole bunch of lying, or like you're like living your life lying about, you know, like you're lying about your life, basically. Like, that's toxic. You know what I mean? And then involving people in that. But in my own situation, just being in like, to be honest, I feel like one of my first relationships was pretty toxic. I don't feel like my other, you know, the other relationships that I've been in were really like to that extreme. But in that first relationship, I feel that it was very toxic. And I mean, I think like I was able to get my non-negotiables out the way after that. And I was like really young, but I was in that relationship for a really long time. But I feel like it was just like a lot of like, it was a lot of like cheating on both sides.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of cheating on both sides. It was a lot of lying. It was a lot of arguing. It was a lot of just like, tearing each
I
other
feel like
down.
once you get to that point, so like
Yeah.
one person, like, so I guess you found him cheating on you, and then you were trying to get your get back, or
Get my lick back.
Oh my God. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. And that's
not a good way to be.
But I feel like
Yeah.
even that sort of ideal, that sort
Yeah.
of, mental, that sort of idealistic
Yeah.
of, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna
But
hurt
also,
this person
I
who
feel
hurt
like
me.
how
Hurt
toxic
people
you
who hurt
are.
people, you know?
Yeah, but it was like, for me, I feel like also at the time, like the types of people, like, of course, Kayla was my friend at the time, and
Yeah.
she was discouraging me from doing those things.
Yeah.
But maybe some of the people that I was hanging around at that time also, I feel like, were maybe like encouraging me to have this type of behavior.
Oh, yeah, like,
Because at
go
the end of the
ahead,
day,
girl, go ahead. Fuck
yeah,
that
like
nigga.
fuck that. Yeah, like fuck that nigga. Like, girl, like, you know what I mean?
This is not the way to do.
No, this is not what to do. Yeah, because to be
encourage your
honest-
friends to have
Yeah.
constructive conversations,
Yeah,
and ask the man how he feels. You know what I'm saying? We like that type of
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and it was just like super, just like, I don't know, like I just felt like it was just like, I think the biggest thing in that relationship was I just felt like there was a lot of like tearing each other down.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I would say mean things, but he said a lot of mean things about me too.
So
but-
verbal abuse was occurring as well.
I mean, at the time, I probably didn't think of it that way, but
Yeah.
now that I'm like older and I'm like looking back at it, yeah, probably,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate, but I mean, I think still to that point though, man. I mean, I think there are elements for growth, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even in conversations like this where you can reflect and be like, hey, like, I know what that kind of looks like, and to
Yeah.
go back to the conversation too. So like, now that we've kind of like, you've seen what I think and kind of what with yourself, like, how do you feel about like the Blueface Krishan situation? Like, what is it for you, and what is it that even like made you like bring it to the table today?
I don't know, because
You know
it's
what I
just like something that a lot of people are talking about.
Right.
And also I feel why I brought it forth is because I feel like it's an issue that not just they're dealing with, but like
Yeah.
it's a common issue amongst like a lot of people in our generation. Like earlier today you mentioned there's a lot of people who are like, together and having children, but
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of marriages and families. There's a whole lot of broken families,
Yeah.
And recently she announced she was pregnant, and then he like denied it and was like, "That's not my baby," and it's just like, but bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, what? But how do I feel about their relationship? I feel like it's very unfortunate because I never like to see, especially like Black people, like I never like to see us like being put like on Front Street in a bad way,
Right,
so I'm gonna
right.
start there. Like that always like really like,
And it gets super commercialized. too.
yeah, and it's just like, it's very unfortunate because it's just like some people who maybe live in some small town in Kentucky have never met Black people before, but they see Krishan and Blueface and they're just like, okay, like all Black
Oh, yeah,
people
yeah.
are like
Wow,
that.
they tripping.
Yeah, and it's just, it's unfortunate because obviously that's not the reality, and those are just like simple-minded individuals, right? And they should, you know what I mean? Like they should open their minds a little bit. However, I do think that it's unfortunate because it's just like nobody, like that's not love to me.
Yeah.
Like that's not love. Like, and some people think because you're fighting, like literally fighting, that's love. And I feel like love is more than that. Maybe because I've experienced real love with you and like what that feels like
that.
and like what it looks like. That's not love to me. I'm somebody that's tearing you down, somebody that's literally trying to break you down to pieces. That's not love. Like, and some people, like I said, will look at the fact that it's hard and like it, you know what I mean, and you have to go through all these things, but it's also like the chase kind of. It's just like at this point, like, I think Krishan and Blueface both know that what they're doing is wrong. However, they both like it because they like that thrill. They like that, it's almost like like an addiction in a sense.
Yeah, it's a drug, man. You want to, you want to feel wanted. You want to feel
exactly,
desired.
and they feel that because we're doing all of this that I'm wanted. Like, and it's just like, nah.
Which is nah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is nah. Like,
Which
not
is
at all.
definitely nah.
Not at all. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, everybody deserves to be loved. And, like, everybody deserves to feel healthy love. Like, like healthy love. Like, love, and to be honest with you, some people would probably say like healthy love is boring.
Yeah.
They probably would say like being in a healthy relationship and being with somebody like is boring, but I would take that any day over like just being in a place where like you're just
just like not
angry at the whole world and just anything. It's just you're kicking TVs and like, you know, like what the fuck, like
facts.
But I'm not one to judge, because at the end of the day, you know, I just feel that as a person you should just want better for yourself.
I think that's too where it's like conflicting for me, where I always find like situations like that perplexing, because I'm like, man, you know, okay, well, I think maybe for Christian, maybe like Blueface has like money and fame and kind of like has put her maybe into a stratosphere or a limelight that she's never been. But in the same time, I feel like, you know, it's also tearing you down, because it's tearing apart your mental. It's tearing apart and even too from the show that we can see, it looked like it was, you know, had some conflicting you know, analogies with her family and things like that as well.
Like so, it's just like, you know, I understand like not all families like get along. Like as humans, like we don't always get along, and that's okay. However, like your man is fighting your dad.
It was a bit.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and the thing is too, which is crazy, because I don't. It's stuff like that, man. I don't really know what's Hollywood and what's not. Too,
because
like,
you can't even.
Like, it's like it gets so far.
It gets,
you know,
because you just
like,
never know, because it's just like. You know, there's producers to reality shows at the end of the day.
But even too, regardless though, it's like even what you're portraying, you know what I mean? Like, because even somebody put it out, you know what I mean? So even what you're portraying.
I have a question. So do you feel like there's like, we talked about toxic relationships. Do you feel like there's toxic friendships?
Oh, most definitely.
And like, what does that look like?
I think toxic friendships can be, I think toxic friendships sometimes can be, you know, in places where like, you know what I mean, much like a relationship where it's like, you know, you got years, like I've known this person for so long, man, like this is my homie, this is my boy, or oftentimes too where it's like this person has done something for you. Oh man, I owe this man, you know what I mean, we've been friends for so long, I owe this man, this woman, because they got me out of this situation, they were there for me when such and such, and you know, I think that can also be the way as well, you know what I mean? You can also have, I've experienced friends asking me for money, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that also can tear apart a relationship as well, where you got, like, people that ask you for money, bro, that, you know what I mean, you never hear back from and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, you don't do the same things you do, you don't kick it the same way that you kick it, you don't hit your phone the same, and you know, I think that there definitely can be toxic relationships, man. And I think too sometimes, man, like a motherfucker can owe you money and then so try to pop up like everything's sweet. Like, nah, nigga, where my $500 at? Or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so I think sometimes that you definitely can have toxic friendships because people oftentimes neglect the reality of, you know, what happens in people's lives, and you know we continue to go forth like, you know what I mean, like it's just regular shit, and you know we change as people, you know what I mean, we step into other relationships, we have different things that happen. So I think that there's definitely toxic relationships for sure.
I agree though, like I mean I feel like I don't feel like as of I don't really feel like I've had any like toxic relationships. I mean, friendships.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they were like toxic. However, I don't feel
I don't think I've had a toxic
I don't think I've had any toxic friendships, but I feel that I've had some like friendships that probably shouldn't have been friendships.
Right, like some situations.
Like it's just
probably
like
shouldn't have fucked with cuz.
Yeah, like I probably should have listened to my parents when they said that that girl ain't no good. Like, you know what I mean? I probably should have freaking listened, but I didn't. So, you know, whatever. But there's probably, you know, people that I probably shouldn't have been friends with, like people I used to run with, and when I ran with those people, I probably wasn't living the best type of life. So they were influencing just like some of the decisions that I was making, and just, you know, like I've had just like friendships that just kind of like ended badly. But no,
Right.
that's another
Or
conversation.
fell to the wayside.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
mean,
those
but
happen.
that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of another day, though, we know what I'm saying, we're going to definitely try to, get with y'all, man. You know what I mean?
this was nice, though.
This was nice.
You know, thanks for coming to our living room and chatting with us today.
Because we ordered some food before we started, and it should probably be here soon. So,
Yes.
make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Make sure y'all tap in with us, man. Like I said,
please
in the
tap in.
description, we got the Internal Evolution website.
Yes.
We got the TikTok that's down there. We also got, our Instagrams, of course. So make sure y'all follow us, man.
I am still
You know,
detoxing, so
Yes,
please.
but it still exists. You know what I mean?
It still
So
exists. Follow me. I will follow you
us.
back in
Yes,
February.
Yes. And we also got the Virgil's Instagram as well that,
Yes.
that we got there that we're gonna get together as well. We're gonna try to use the shift stuff, you know what I mean, for most of our stuff. So if you see,
if you follow the shifts, you'll
right.
still be tuned in with everything
So
with the
Virgils.
Virgils.
If you see this little logo change and stuff like that, you know what I mean.
You already know the vibes.
You already know the vibes, man. You know what I mean. So just check us out, man, on the next tip, and you know what I mean. Just be blessed, be humble, and peace and love to all of y'all that's out there, man.
Bye,
You know,
y'all.